Welcome to a Nerd Odyssey. I have a statement to make. Expedition 33 is the best video game soundtrack of this year, and I'd go so far to say one of the best soundtracks in decades of gaming. If you haven't yet, either number one, boot it up, it's $50, or number two, go to the YouTube and listen to the orchestral session in full. It's absolutely outstanding. The reason I'm bringing all this up is that Expedition 33 has been disgraced, my boys. It has been disrespected by not even getting nominated for a Grammy, despite its submission. Despite its submission, mind you, to the 2026 Grammy Awards for the Best Score Soundtrack for video games and other interactive media, even with the track Lumiere, also considered for Best Song written for visual media.
It's ridiculous.
Nerd Odyssey. I'm Dalt. I got Slosher. Slosher, you're on for Arc Raiders. Welcome back.
The worst belt.
Holland was on for Silk Song. Yep. Welcome back,
coming
brother.
back for some RTS. Coming back. I'm going to be coming back hard in
Talk
November
about
and December.
a dead genre that is. Oh my
RTS.
god.
We're still covering it.
Yeah.
We're still covering it for you, for the deep
It's
fans.
the greatest.
For
Yes,
the 40
yes.
plus
The
year
goat.
olds.
It's only for the real men.
Nick,
That's why. That's everyone's
Nick
lame.
and Jody,
now.
welcome back. Welcome
Hello.
back, Nick, Jody.
Dalton, hello.
It's been like a while since we've all been together.
Dalton,
I know,
hello.
yeah. I'm glad we got the crew together. Well, and rightfully so, because people are in outrage, gamers particularly feeling totally unheard and left out. So I'm glad there's been a lot of videos like ours here. A lot of people calling it bullshit because this is unacceptable. Now, before we get into the nominees, I will say this. I want to say this. I don't think anyone is expecting much video game representation from the Grammys. I mean, they've damn near lost all credibility. I don't know if anyone even watches them. Do any of you guys even watch them?
No, I haven't watched
pretty much
Grammy in
a
20
bunch
years.
a bunch of crap. So I don't even know if anyone who picked these entries even picked up a controller or played 1 minute. And I'm not even saying that as a way to make fun. I legitimately don't even know, but it doesn't seem like they play much. So you think they would have played it, given it's the Grammy Award for Best Score Soundtrack for fucking video games, but I don't know.
It's archaic
don't know.
establishment garbage. It's been down for years. No one cares. They've preached for a decade of shit that no one cares about anymore, and now they're trying to get into video games now. It's actually laughable. But it doesn't matter. The Game Awards are going to disrespect Expedition 33 too. It doesn't matter. So it's
They
inevitable
won't.
there too.
I don't think
Well,
they can, dude.
that's what really matters. They can't. The Game Awards is what matters, right? That's
you
our
know,
game of the
no,
year.
They don't matter either to me, but because they're just as political as half them. But
But
to your point,
that's-
what is going to be the bigger issue is if they get snubbed at the Video Game Awards, which that'll be too egregious, preposterous, outrageous, as Jackie Childs would say.
Yes. Well, yeah, the Game of the Awards is Game of the Year. They do Best Direction, they do Best Performance, all the shit, but they have Best Score in Music. So, Expedition 33 needs to win that, and I think it's my vote for Game of the Year. Slosser, in our review, I gave it a 9.4 initially, I think, a 9.3 maybe, but I've upped it to like a 9.8. This is
9.8.
revolutionary gameplay with the turn-based dodge and parrying active mechanics. It's a masterful music and score, a story and journey that's literally, dude, the best. It might have been the best I've ever been on in any video game ever. This year, indie games have shown me that games can be great again. The best story and journey I've ever been on.
Dalton has been drinking his
I've played them all.
What do you call it? Not Tropic Thunder. What's the fucking coffee brand? Good lord, he's drinking. You're 6 cups in.
Black Rifle Company.
Yeah, good lord.
I played Ocarina of Time. I played Last of Us. I played Red Dead. I played all the great stories. This is the greatest maybe of all time. The best maps I've ever played in Arc Raiders maybe of all time. The best roguelike in Hades 2 maybe of all time. God damn it. I'm the best looking motherfucker of all time.
But yes, it's being
I'm just
disrespected.
joking. But hold on.
Breathe, brother.
I'm joking, but this year the indie games have really shown me the greatness, and I'm here to stay with them. My overall point is that Expedition 33 deserves some recognition in the Game Awards. It should be Game of the Year. I'm 95% sure it's going to win Best Score. And mark my words, if it doesn't, like
Why
you
are you
said,
sure
this will
it's-
tell us the
Here's the thing,
grasp that AAA gaming
why are you sure it's gonna
has. And the
Why are you sure it's
corruption.
going to win? You mean it should win?
Hold on. So it leads to a great point. It should win, but the credibility is gone.
Correct. That's why
It's
yeah.
gone.
You shouldn't expect
It's
anything.
absolutely gone. No one here really almost cares or believes, but we want to believe. We want some structure. There's a real valid reason for institutions and structure to exist. right? It's supposed to kind of feed us to the right direction. This should be a clear winner. This should be a clear contender, and just kind of almost like who can hold the candle to it this year, and probably nobody, right? And the fact that it's not showing up, we all can kind of see through this, but that's the problem, is that we have to see through it.
Well, that's how it's everywhere. I mean, it's not even just video games. It's like, this is just the new victim of this movement, and it has all kinds of names. But whether it's the Star Wars from 10 years ago, or Rings of Power, or whatever, they act like they insult our intelligence by feeding us low budget or even high budget slop, which is even worse, but that's a different conversation. But like, they're feeding us slop, disrespecting the actual great art, and then putting on an award show, giving an award to the slop. Not only telling us the slop is better, then giving an award and be like, "Oh, you're an idiot if you don't think this is better than that little game." And it's all for agenda base. It's not like, again, at the end of the day, how do you even? That's why the podcast exists. To be honest with you, how do you rate what a great game is? So at the end of the day, this is all subjective shit. But like, when it's clearly like, dude, this game is clearly better than Avatar. What was the shit on the Grammy list? Half the games I hadn't even fucking heard of.
Well,
I hadn't even heard of them.
I have the list.
We do video game reviews, and I've never even heard of half the games that the Grammys nominated. That's ridiculous to have E33 off, but fucking Avatar.
You've heard of
I
them.
have not heard of the Avatar video
heard of
game.
them.
Did not know that it had a video game.
All right.
I knew it.
All right. I'll tell you the nominees, but Slasher,
Yeah, I
go
knew
ahead.
that
Yeah,
came out. Here, I did a quick hot shot of research. And with this year's nominees, number one, if Helldivers 2 doesn't win, then we fucking riot, right? Especially over what's presented in this list. I will say that Sword of the Sea is bombing on the Steam charts right now. Absolutely crushing it. 13 active players, 764 peak. Expedition 33 is 9,600 players right now.
Right
with
now, right here. Wow.
145,000 peak.
So the Sword of the Sea is the only indie company that the Grammys have nominated. Austin Wintory. I did not listen to the song, so I don't want to take away anything. It's a Giant Squid. A Giant Squid is the developer and publisher, so this is the only one. But let's talk about the nominees, and that's an interesting point, Slasher, because I did listen to the Avatar song, and you guys are gonna kill me. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful song. It's in the voice of the Na'vi, but I will say, it's no Expedition 33. So let me get to the nominees. Ready? So we talked about it. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, an Ubisoft game, mind you. Okay.
Ooh.
Helldivers 2, Slosser, Wilbert Roget the second. I'm going to butcher the names. Arrowhead Studios. Sony PlayStation, though, Sony Interactive.
Yeah,
alrighty, that's the publisher.
That's their parent company.
Right? Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Who's that? We all know after all the political crap that's come out. Bethesda. So are you picking up on a theme here? We got Ubisoft, we got Sony, we have Bethesda. Next, Star Wars Outlaws. Fucking Ubisoft. Can you believe this? The only indie company is Sword of the Sea, which no one's barely ever heard
stock
of.
price.
Again, I don't want to take away from these composers.
Look at Ubisoft's stock price in the last 5 years. Tell me they should be getting multiple game awards. Like, this is it's an insulting.
It's through the trash.
It's down 80% in the last 5 years. You're missing. Like, what I'm saying is, like, this is not a company that should be celebrated, let alone winning multiple awards, nominated for multiple games they've made, bro. This is like what I'm saying is that it's beyond. It was insulting 8 years ago. It was insulting 5 years ago. This shit they were doing with the Gamergate shit. It was they were beating people over the head with it. Now they're like rubbing it in your face that maybe the best game made in the last 5 years is being snubbed in front of your face, and there's nothing you can do about it. And that's just like where, like, when the fuck do people just stop giving a shit about what these award shows say? That's what I'm saying. Like, I hope the award shows. I hope the Game Awards snubs it so that they kill their credibility and no one gives a shit about them anymore. Because they should.
I hope so too. They need to, and this is the year to do it, because through all the YouTube videos and all the independent journalists and all the people like us doing reviews, we're fucking Bush League. But all the bigger people doing it are bringing to light these indie games that are selling well. They're selling well, and the voices are out there. The consensus is out there. Expedition 33 should win Game of the Year based off what I've seen through the consensus. So here's my issue with everything you just said, that Kernick, is that maybe Ubisoft is in the shitter, but AAA gaming as a whole is certainly not. They're still winning and making billions of dollars year over year. And listen, even Ubisoft, Assassin's Creed Shadows. Hold on. Assassin's Creed Shadows, 4.5 million copies sold. It's crushing. Ghosts of Yotei, 3.3 million copies sold. I have some numbers here in front of me.
How much
and
money?
People are talking about Ghosts of Yotei. Well, Ghosts of Yotei, Sucker Punch, they said it would. I don't have the source, but they said it was relatively low budget. It was around the same as Ghost of Tsushima. So it was a low budget game, all things considered. I say low budget. It was probably 60 million, but it wasn't hundreds of million. They said it was the same. Sucker Punch literally said it was the same as Ghost of Tsushima. So AAA is doing well.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem for a second. Now I need to talk for a second because this is like you're showing me how there's a lot of morons out there and how that's how we're wrong. Like no. Like I don't care what medium you can pick. Somehow we went from Vivaldi and Beethoven to Ice Spice. Somewhere along the line, we decided that art wasn't worthy of fucking holding it up high, and we should just fucking be okay with this low grade bullshit. So I don't give a shit. You can give me numbers of how many Justin Bieber fans there are, or how many One Direction fans there are, or how many fucking Jonas Brothers fans there are. That doesn't mean that it's like good fucking art. It means that they've convinced a large group of people to accept slop, and that's the problem now. Where you have actually people fighting for the Matrix, you have people fighting for these games that are slop. And they're not even demanding higher art for themselves while they're being charged more money, while they don't even own the physical fucking media, while they have to be hooked up online, while their fucking subscription fucking falls out, or the servers are down and they can't play that day. It's bullshit. So it's like we are so far past what was acceptable, in my opinion, that now just people now even arguing this shit is like, I'm sorry, this should have been burned to the ground 6-7 years ago when they disrespected the core fan for the fucking normie. So like that's the problem, and it's that's all.
All right. Well said. And I'm going to point to Exhibit A, based off what you just said, Kernick. Nintendo. We all know Nintendo. AAA, right? Pokemon Legends Z to A. $13 million budget. 5.8 million, almost 6 million units in the first week. And this is we're like almost a month out. So, dude, we're the idiots. I'm the idiot who bought it. So I'm not helping the cause. Based off what you said,
that's the part too. People buy it and just like think about like Joker 2. Everyone saw it because Joker was pretty good, but Joker 2 was fucking like laughably comedically cringe-inducing. But it sold a lot of tickets.
Just listen to
nobody saw it twice. You know, but having a big hype, Diablo 4 sold tons and tons of copies because Diablo 3 sold tons and tons of copies because Diablo 2 sold so many. So like, that doesn't necessarily mean the game is good just because everyone bought it.
I'm not saying it is.
Into buying
we trashed it.
Yeah, they were tricked into buying it. Yeah.
You're right. They have such a grasp on us, these AAA companies do. And I'm hoping that, again, this has kind of been the year of the indie game, even though the indie is way under. Like in terms of sales numbers, the indie game is not doing nearly as well as AAA games, but the indie games are getting more praise, and that's what I'm happy about. Also, their budgets are lower. Like, what's their overhead? Like an indie game, you got to think about like Rockstar, for example. They're the biggest right now, and I'll argue that the AAA is riding on them in GTA 6. GTA 1 and 2 are top-down games. Not true,
They're a
but
small
go ahead.
studio. Oh, I think the industry will if that game fails, I think it'll be the Death Star blowing up. The Empire might not die in a couple of years, but it'll be the end of it over time. But that's it'll
be maybe episode 4 where the Death Star dies, and then they're going to come back hard for another 20 years. But go ahead.
It'll be the beginning of the end. But my point is though, Rockstar started small too, dude. They had over top games. GTA 3 made them $1 billion. Then they did Vice City and San Andreas with the same engine and made so much money that now they had the ability to make 4 and 5 and then 5 sells the most entertainment. It was the highest selling entertainment product in 24 hours or some shit like that. So that's the reason they even have $1 billion to invest in GTA 6
it's
in
still
the first
selling.
place. So,
it's on the top 10 most sold games this year in 2025. GTA 5 is on this year's top selling list. It came out in 2013.
I mean, it's Thriller, who sells 1 million copies every year. Every Halloween, they just like sell more Thriller. You know what I mean? Like still to this day. So like my point is though is like these little studios, they're making more profit. Where, you know, we'll see if some of them get bigger, just like Rockstar did in the first place.
But that's a AAA company issue, not a consumer issue, right? If Ubisoft lowers their budget and all of a sudden they put a new Assassin's Creed out with a team of 20 people and low budget and they sell another 4 million copies, they're right back on track because it's not a consumer issue. People are still buying the damn games.
Well, you have to
People are still buying. Pokemon Legends Z-A might sell more.
Well, that's different.
Might
Pokemon
sell
is
more
different.
units than dollars that they have on the fucking budget. It was
Talk about
$13 million and they already sold $6 million in the first week. I don't even know where it's at now.
Pokemon, we have to put that in its own bubble because that has talk about zombies
right.
over there. Like it's
Right.
a totally different bubble. But here's the thing, though. Like what you're saying, though, is like GTA 6. They've already spent $1 billion making this game. They can't just make $1 billion back. They have to make $5 billion. Because they've started developing this game in 2014. So they could have put $1 billion in fucking any investment since 2014 and made a lot of money. And they didn't. They made zero money so far. They've just spent, and every month they delay this game, $10 million it costs them. So my point is they must think things are bad. They're changing
Every
the game.
month
This
it costs
is a
them
different
10 mil?
conversation. Every month that they delay GTA 6, it costs their studio $10 million. So my point is like a little indie studio, Silksong, they don't have those kind of problems.
No.
You know what I mean? So it's like it's a different lens. They can sell, even if they sell 5 million copies of GTA 6, that's not enough. They have to make $5 billion with this game. And maybe they will because it's going to be the tits. I mean, I hope it is. I really do. But my point is
They
like
might make that.
It's not. It's
They might make
AAA
that.
can put out all these numbers all they want. It's not about that. They have stockholders. They have shareholders. They have to grow. They have to fire people if they don't hit quotas. It's easier it's harder for a super tanker to crash to nothing, but it's also harder for a super tanker to triple their money. Silksong probably their coffers are so fat because that game cost probably nothing to produce and the team was probably mad small. And the amount of pie they have to cut up is way different than GTA 6 that has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of developers and so many investors and so many other avenues they got to worry about and compliance teams and legal teams and all kinds of bullshit. So like it's a bigger deal than they can just put out, I sold 4 million copies. We're doing really good. It's like, all right, let's show me your numbers. Show me Ubisoft's fucking 10K. Show me their fucking last earnings call. Like it's shit. They suck. So they can say anything they want. Their company's a dumpster fire, and it's down 85% in the last bunch of years. Their stock price. That means shit. Blizzard stock has fallen. Their reputation's a fucking disgrace. Even though for some reason Diablo 4 in the last 2 weeks, I know you guys are making fun of me. I'm obsessed with it. Totally different video for a different time. But like these like Nintendo, I don't know. They're dancing with the devil. They have such a name recognition that they could probably piss on our faces for another 5 or 6 years, and they'd still sell tons of Pokemon games.
It'd still be
but they're getting greedy
billions
too,
in
bro.
profit.
No, I just don't know what Santa's going to say to my little man when he does not get his Switch 2 this year.
Switch
I'm
2
sorry.
$700
Sorry, buddy.
for what? Donkey Kong
600.
I
Bonanza?
think I'm going to do it
And a
for
low
Donkey
budget
Kong
Pokemon
Bonanza.
game? Like
Go
there
play
I'm
Donkey
over, I gotta
Kong
borrow it
Bonanza,
from
dude.
will be a reckoning. This happened to Atari back in the 70s and 80s. It's happened before. Now, does it mean it's going to disappear? Gaming's too
Right.
big to disappear. It's not like they're going to put out with music, but like this is not uncharted territory, you know?
Right. So if you look at the Switch 2 now, it's not what the Switch was. It's when the Switch came out, it was after the Wii U, so Nintendo had a lot to lose. They had to get their shareholders back. They had to get money, in their pockets, so to speak. And they did a great job, great launch with the Switch. And now, the Switch is great and everything. And now the Switch 2 comes out and, they're less hyped up, I guess.
For sure.
Well,
There's
they
way
just
less
have-
hype.
Well, again,
There's way less hype.
I don't know about that because the Switch 2 has already outsold the Switch 1. I mean, not in lifetime sales, but
Oh, yeah, I know.
but for the
Yeah.
first quarter
Yeah,
of
I
Switch
knew
1,
that.
I'm sorry, for the first quarter of sales for the Switch 2, it's crushing Switch 1, and it had much better opening days and shit. So, listen, maybe in 5 years we can come back to this and say, fuck, well, Switch 1 was better.
Nintendo right now, in my opinion, because they have such a grip on children too, who don't care about this kind of shit, they just say, daddy, fucking buy it for me. Where me and you were like more cautious with our daughter, and we have more mature titles that were like, no, fuck that. I'm not coming back to that game. That game is insulting. Fuck you. Like a little kid's game is just like, I need the new Pokemon game, no matter what. And that's why they produce slop, personally. I mean, I know for a fact that's why they do that kind of shit. So it's like Nintendo's different. I almost don't want to compare it to that. I'm talking about like our demographic, like the games that are being produced for us. Like I just feel like the fanboy that accepts the slop, they're running out of those types of people, in my opinion. Though some of those people will go down with the ship and buy every piece of shit that comes out for the next 10 years and never admit they were wrong and never admit they got played. There's plenty of those people, and they'll always be there to prop up some of these games. But if you're going to tell me that somebody from Ubisoft really feels like their company's killing it, and that for the and the bunch of their titles have been huge successful hits that have changed gaming and have really shaped their company, I think they're lying. Rockstar's different. They're making tons of money. All I'm saying is that GTA 6 they've invested too much money for it to fail. That's all I mean by that. Rockstars they're rock stars. I mean, to be fair, everything they make is fucking gold. Even if it costs $100 million to fucking make, they crush it.
Well, I can admit I got played 2 weeks ago when I bought Pokemon Legends Z-Day. So there you go. Nick, I agree with you. There is a threshold. There is a threshold of, yes, are they still making money? Are they still selling a lot of copies? Can they move some things around in terms of budget, fire some people, and still produce an Assassin's Creed Shadows that will still sell 4 or 5 million copies? Yes, they can. How long is that going to go on, though? How long is the stock going to keep going up, down? I don't even want to talk to that because I don't even know what the fuck half of it means.
You're forgetting history.
Yeah,
it's just the thing is that we just need to get back to gameplay. We don't need these GPU machines. We don't need to feed some massive NVIDIA chip just to make this game look slightly better.
Entertainment and fun.
Condensation on the drinks now, Colin.
We've kind of gotten there, and we talk about the music. There's been some stellar soundtracks this year. Stellar Blade, Silk Song, Episode 33. That's been great. Right, music's been rocking this year, right? So a lot of top contenders back to that topic, but a lot of top gameplay has come out too, right? So, just kind of coming back to some of that Doom, right? We want to throw back a little bit to Doom too, but just solid soundtrack, good enough graphics. We can get back to good enough. It doesn't need to be this incredible thing, but make the game a good game,
dude.
Make the game excellent.
There's
make
a problem.
It exceptional. And they can come back to this. This will be a formula that will have us coming back to the well.
Yeah.
And don't feed us slop that we don't need to be thinking at night while we're playing our games. We don't need to be thinking about the next the next little nuance on the game, right? Give us something fun to play.
Dude,
give us something that's make believe.
The problem with AAA games is the gameplay. So we need, you're right, bring good games back again. Entertainment and fun over the sales. The sales is always a top priority. Monetize everything. Meet the deadlines. Graphics that have to break your computer or buy a new graphics card. Exhibit A, fucking Borderlands 4, perfect example. Sorry to say it, but the DEI, over-the-top requirements and inclusion. Dragon Age, fucking Veilguard, perfect example. That game was woker than the wokest person in Portland, Oregon, dude. Like, this stuff needs to leave games. And
non-binary.
Yes. And we need to just focus on making quality games for the consumer, not for the fucking corporate bullshit journalists that don't even put Expedition 33 on the fucking Grammy. I'm sick of this.
So fucking stupid. That's so dumb.
So dumb.
The problem is,
I think you said it best in the Expedition 33 episode where you were like, what did you say about the song? It's something you hum in the
something you
supermarket.
hum in the grocery store.
Like, dude, that sums it up.
Yeah, it does.
So completely there. Oh, and by the way, one of the other games is called Wizardry. Whoever gives a shit, whatever it's called.
I've never even heard of it.
In the nominees?
12
monkeys
players.
off of Barbados doing
So
acid.
this is the thing. The player count is important, right? Because that shows you the exposure that it has and all this other stuff. When they're putting games on there with less than 500, less than 50 players on it, what?
Bro, like, here's the part to it, and this is where,
what are we doing?
The irony
What are we doing?
is that for the last week, I've been texting
They wouldn't
you all.
even put Chrono Trigger on that fucking list.
Right.
That's how stupid they are.
And I've been saying this for almost a year, and the irony is that in the last
dumbest
week,
shit ever.
for some reason, I've been playing D4. But besides that, I played D4 the game when the day it came out. 25 minutes of cinematics before I played anything, and I fucking hated everything about it. It made me sick to my stomach. I played Red Dead 2. Everyone loves Red Dead 2. There was so much cinematics. I had to press X to do this. I had to press X to talk to this person. I had to press X to fucking do this. I was like, dude, give me a fucking game. The most successful game in the last 20 years was Minecraft. It looks like a piece of shit. There's no fucking story. There's no fucking soundtrack that you can recognize at all.
Nice.
It was just the most innovative fucking game ever that fucking changed everything. And then now there's sandblocks and roadblocks and all these other fucking blocks. Build this, build that. They ripped off everything in clones. So like, I don't need that. To Holland's point, I get it. It's cool. The new GTA 6 trailer, they were showing off that the Corona bottles in the cinematic had condensation on them. It's fucking pretty sweet. Don't get me wrong. I can appreciate that there's video graphic quality, that there's enough pixelization or whatever you want to call it to show that stuff. But like, that's why you had the game is a year late. It was supposed to come out a year already.
They fired all these people.
Sorry.
You hear all the rumors about why they fired.
I mean, whatever it is.
Yeah. You hear all the rumors now about
like,
shit.
Dude, just fucking put the game out. So here's the part. And I guess what I'm saying is this too, is like, there's just like the idea that there was a reason besides selling games and making a good game, that there was any other agenda, it's been exposed. So before, they might have been doing that our whole lives, but it was so subtle that we didn't realize it. Sure, people always bring up examples. Oh, there was politics in comics in 1952. And I was like, yeah, but this isn't like Green Arrow telling some kid not to do heroin because there was a heroin epidemic at the time in the country. They're beating you over the fucking head with this kind of stuff to the point where it's just like, you're exposed, bro. Make a good game and nobody gives a shit. No one fucking cares. Silksong has nothing political about it whatsoever. It's one of the most fun games and addictive games of all time. The Souls genre has nothing political about it whatsoever. It's just hard as shit. It's back to Nintendo hard. It's respecting it's respecting the consumer, dude. Back to the Atari and the ET and everything else. It's when you stop respecting the consumer, this kind of shit happens. Always, no matter what business it is. It doesn't have to be video games. When you make music slop, then Kurt Cobain comes in and trashes all your fucking establishment shit. It's happened before. It'll happen again. And the indie companies right now are showing that we don't fucking need that crap.
Indie games have shown me.
Yes,
they have shown me that it's the best story of all time. Arc Raider's the best map of all time. Oh. God, dude, indie games, best music of all time in Expedition 33. I'm joking, but these indie games are coming out, especially this year. Last year, you had your Wukong, you had a couple throw-ins there as well, but this year in particular, I feel that these indie games are showing us that things can be great despite all that AAA bullshit and nonsense and $100 million budgets that go into it. And Silksong was made with $15 and 2 people.
6 people for 6 years.
Minecraft was one guy.
Dude,
Undertale was one guy.
Buds and just fucking cranking games.
Dude, Undertale was like one guy. Like Cuphead, like super small.
He's just some
guy.
What
I mean? Like
Dude,
Super
Cuphead,
Meat Boy,
I've died
Celeste,
600 times. Incredible.
Like
game.
Celeste, small teams, Hollow Knight, small teams, dude. Like you don't need this crap. And think about it. You can look at movies. A24, they don't need $200 million budgets to make some of these good movies. And listen, there's still room for that shit. It doesn't mean like a AAA thing shouldn't be that. But when AAA should be producing the greatest shit ever made ever. But I guarantee you half that's money laundering because it's just like, where's the money going? How did this movie that costed $300 million produce this? How did a game that cost this much money produce this crap?
You don't get your GTA 5 without Rockstar and AAA companies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you need that shit. And there's a space for that too. But but then here's the thing. Here's the bottom line. And I know we've been all over the place. Here's the bottom line. They're not nominating Expedition 33 because because it'll tell people, well, why are we spending $100 million? Why don't we just do what these dudes? Like the AAA, they almost can't let it happen. They can't let it happen. They can't let an indie game win. So they're going to pay and use every influencer and every fucking streamer they can get access to say, no, that game's stupid. Vote for fucking Avatar 2, even though I've never fucking heard of it. Or the Indiana Jones game. They are. They're jealous, Jody.
Jealousy.
Jody's seen this. Jody's been around the block for decades. He's seen this shit. He was like Atari did this in the '80s. He's already seen it.
I can't really argue that position there. I can't.
Well, a lot of these sales, it's coming back the other way. Like, keep the fight going, everybody, because I'm looking at some numbers here. $4 billion in independent sales through 2025 so far. So
AAA,
very strong.
You talking about AAA?
No, indie games.
Well, what's AAA's?
Indie games. It's. I think they're saying it's like roughly similar, roughly on par.
Oh man, I don't know about that.
It's all about. You got to remember too. It's profit margins. You got to see.
There's different platforms, different all that stuff, right?
The numbers are so easily skewed and lied. That's the part too. Where like, show me the balance sheet. Show me the people's balance sheet. Show me how much it cost you to make this game. How much did you market this game? Silksong, I bet you their marketing budget was
that
nothing.
Can be fixed though.
Zero.
I mean, again, I want to see that $4 billion on indie, and I want to see the AAA's version. I wouldn't be surprised if it's in the double digits. And also, Nick, what you just said again, it's not. That can be fixed in AAA, in the AAA world, dude. It's not going to change if they're still getting these high numbers. That's a AAA individual studio problem, not a consumer problem.
But what do you mean by that? I don't even know what that means.
Because people are still buying AAA games at extremely high numbers.
Yeah, but people are bitching about prices right now. You know, we'll see these Christmas numbers. We'll see. To Holland's point, there might be a lot of people that
what
aren't
are you
getting
talking
games,
about?
I think.
Pokemon Legends cost $70.
Don't use Pokemon.
Just to play.
Don't use Pokemon. Use any
people
other
are
game.
bitching. Donkey Kong Bonanza was $80 and still crushed. Games are going higher, and the sales are not changing. Ghosts of Yotei, over 3 million copies, is a $70 game.
Yeah, but how much money did that game cost? I keep going back to this. How much did it cost?
$60 million.
How much their profit margin? $60 million. How much money did they make? How much money did they make?
They sold over 3 million copies. So fucking
how much
whole shit ton at $70. Do the math.
Okay, so they cost them $60 million, and then they made $180 million. And how much did they market the game? How much is their dev team? Like, it's just like I'm just saying. Like, it's just like there's a reason that Ubisoft is down that much. That's all I'm going to say. Look at Nintendo's stock price. Their only movement in 20 years was the Switch, because no one saw that coming. No one saw, to Jody's point, nobody saw the Switch selling 180 million fucking units. They just didn't. Look at the Nintendo stock price over the last 20 years. Right. Look at Ubisoft's over the last 10. Like, it doesn't. They can say all they want. They made money. Sure, their revenue's high. Their numbers are high. What were the costs? How much money could they put into something else? Could they bought Bitcoin and just 10 times their money? Could they just put that same $1 billion that they put into GTA 6 into Nvidia stock and 15x their money by now? I bet you their investors are wishing they had done that and not made a stupid fucking video game with the money. That's the point. They can say all they want. Oh my God, we had 100 million streams last year on Spotify. Okay, how much money did that make you? How much money could you have made if you would have went the other route? How much money could you have made if you would have made 10 indie games, Rockstar, instead of put $1 billion into a game you haven't made yet? They have to make $10 billion with GTA 6 to make up for the $1 billion. It's more than $1 billion. If they make $2 billion, it's a failure. They'll say, oh my God, we made $2 billion on GTA 6. Guess what? It's a failure. From every investable, every financial, every fucking analytical aspect of that, that's a failure. Now, normies will not see that, and people that defend AAA will go, oh, okay, they made $2 billion, it's a failure. Yeah, it is, because they should have made 10. Star Wars, they bought for $4 billion. Some of those movies lost money. They should have made $100 billion by now on Star Wars, but they probably didn't. So that's the point. It's not about what they made. What could they have made if they wouldn't have produced slop? That's them failing. That isn't them winning. They can say it's winning. It's failing. So my throat's hurting because of this bullshit. So I gotta fucking zip up my goddamn jacket. All right, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's my point.
A very, very common thing that happened before, and these companies are forgetting about history. And when the Atari 2600 was made in '77, great year, I was born.
Shout out.
When it was made in '77.
Shout out to that 1977.
But anyway, when it was made in '77, and it was in-house, it was the best idea. That's what they went with, when it became corporate, okay, and Ray Kassar was the corporate CEO. He had a quote, a very famous, well, not so famous. Nobody really talks about it, but he said the Atari 2600, and this was back in that day, is a license to print money. And that's what they believe. They believe that console, which was the only console, at the time that was, you had other consoles, but nobody could beat Atari. They put all their faith in the system and not the games.
That's what I'm noticing from Nintendo right now with the Switch too, to be honest with you. And Atari, if you know the history, they pushed Nolan Bushnell out, and they eventually fucking they didn't invest in R&D in their next systems and shit like that, and they failed. So like all I'm saying is it's happened before. And maybe they're too good now. Maybe they're too savvy. And they have too much money and too much marketing, and too many normies are going to prop them up. And maybe by quote unquote failing only means a 30% crash, not an 80-90% like in the 80s. Okay, sure, but it's the fat hogs get slaughtered, as they say in business. So you keep getting greedy. You're going to get fucking burnt.
Right.
Sorry.
They had guys like the guy, David Crane from Activision. He went on to do Activision. So they were basically every day getting shit on, and they didn't care about the developers. They cared about the system. And because of that, they were like, okay, well, we're going to go and start our own company.
They told that guy who left to made Activision what the owner of Atari told him and said, literally, this is what he said to him. He said, you're no more, the developer of the fucking games, mind you. He said, you're no more important than the person on the assembly line who puts the game together. And then the guy left after that and started Activision and then bought Blizzard and destroyed my favorite IPs 20 years later. However, my point is, though, is like this is not it's not new. To Jody's point, this has happened 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. Sega's dead because they fucking made bad decisions and stupid shit with the Sega Saturn, and Sony blew them out of the water. Sony and Nintendo were doing a thing. Nintendo screwed them. Sony said, fine, fuck you. We're going to go after you. And they made the PlayStation and hurt Sony and destroyed Nintendo's market share big time. So at the end of the day, I would say Nintendo on a 30-year timeline is still down big from them owning everything in the 80s and now having to split it between 3 other fucking huge companies in PC games. So the other part, too, is, again, you can shape this shit any way you want. But no one's going to convince me that they are in a position that for the next 10 years they're pumped up about. I refuse to believe it.
That's what I was going to ask. In the next decade, could you foresee something as big as the Atari crash or as big as the Sega crash happening? I mean, I look at Xbox right now, and Xbox having a hard time. Microsoft is doing great, but Xbox is with the Game Pass increase. There's some news out there that Xbox is going to be tanking soon. Kernick, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm just saying it's it wouldn't the console wars are over was the article like a week or two ago. Yeah. I mean, that's been 30 years.
The reason they're doing that is because Halo has been dead in the fucking water since Halo 3, let's be honest. For sure. And they're not making as much money off of it, so they need to increase sales, and they're making PlayStation have it. Look at Nintendo. If their IP, like Pokemon, if Halo for Microsoft was doing as well as Pokemon would, they wouldn't fucking market it to PlayStation and PC and other shit. They would keep it on Xbox.
Surrender.
So it's a surrender
for sure.
That they're not doing well, and that's the kind of thing I see in that, But yeah, I'm really curious to see that the next decade in the landscape of AAA gaming should be pretty interesting, and indie gaming.
Here's the whole landscape. Here's the thing. Will it be like you asked me specifically? Will it be like Atari? I don't think that's possible. And Jody knows this more than everybody. But like some of the reasons, like there was you didn't have to have a licensing agreement with people, so that there was just flooded market with games. Like there's rules and stopgaps in place in the industry now that won't allow shit like that. But I'm just saying, some people think I don't know. It won't be a crash like that. I mean, no, I don't think so. But I think, again, they'll rue the day that they just disrespected the gamer left and right, made you buy subscriptions and make everything online, and people are going to eventually walk, I think. And there'll be other options, personally.
Yeah.
That's me. I've ranted enough. My voice is gone.
Interesting take there, gentlemen. At the end of the day, what we all want is we just want to see good quality. Yeah, we want to see good quality games get the recognition they deserve. Arc Raiders. Did you hear about Slasher? Hold on. Before we finish up, Slash, I got to talk to you about this guy. Did you hear the Eurogamer Arc Raider review? That was 2. He gave it a 2 out of 5. So what's that?
2 out of
40%. So the guy, that same guy, Rick Lane is his name, also gave Concord a 3 out of 5. So he thinks Concord's a better game than Arc Raiders.
Wow.
Concord, the massive failure.
Wow.
So Arc Raiders was already, after a week and a half of release, was already in the talks of being like, hey, might be a best game of the year nominee. It was over 90 in Metacritic. It was on the same trajectory as Expedition 33, but this fucking guy from Eurogamer came out and gave it a 2 out of 5. So now it's below 90 in Metacritic. So the dude even says he liked the gameplay, and he was like, the gameplay's amazing, it's a great feel, but if you read the whole thing, it's like 99% of it is praising it, and then the last bit is that he knocks it because of the voice generation, the AI voice generation. It says that the game uses AI to create their voices, so he gave it a 2 out of 5 instead of just maybe 1 point down, maybe a 4
He's a
out of
compromised
5.
loser. Compromised loser. They're all losers. That's why we made
Eurogamer
the podcast,
also
because
gave
we
Dragon
don't
Age
always
Veilguard
bet
100 out of 100.
See,
100 out of
you've
100.
lost credibility.
So, there
that
you
person's
go.
disqualified
There you
from
go.
the conversation.
All right, gentlemen. Can we all agree? Expedition 33, Arc Raiders, these indie games need the recognition. Stop
Diablo
the AAA
4.
corruption.
And I just think I don't think we're breaking any ground here, talking about this stuff.
For sure.
Right?
Everybody's pissed.
It's all in the gameplay and the games. If you play video games, like take Conquered is always the greatest example, right? $100 million budget. The thing was dead in less than a week.
It's horrible.
Less than a week. That game
Will
was
people be
finished.
playing Borderlands 4 1 year from now?
No.
1 year from now. In all seriousness.
No.
Will more than 20 people be playing it concurrently? The answer is no.
20
People are still
million?
running Doom 2. People are still running Doom 2, trying to shave a second off of their fucking times. There's a reason for that. There's a reason that people listen to Beethoven still to this day in Austria. And
Vivaldi on
Ice
YouTube,
Spice will be
best
gone
playlist in
for 2 years from now, and no one will remember her name. We demand
There's
more
a
from your
reason
art,
why
people,
they remake every movie in the 80s.
because everyone was high on cocaine, Jody. We all know this. We all realize that.
All right,
That's
all
very
right.
true.
Why they make all,
All
the
right, we're derailing. Let's wrap it up, gentlemen. Thank you all for coming
Demand
on.
more from your art.
I think we should do a weekly discussion about how AAA sucks, and we'll go from there. Love
Or
you
we
all.
can just discuss other things, like Pokemon cards and people fighting at Costco.
I mean, you can't
Over
ever go
them.
wrong there.
Scalper.
I got that base 151 pack. I got them
my
packs. All right, I gotta go.